It's a go. I like it when things are working. And good day, everybody. Welcome to Broadcasting Your Community. And Stephen Healy has skipped town on us today. So my dear friend, Rj Redden, has sat in his seat today. And I like it once in a while when Stephen goes away, because then I get a fresh new face on here.
There you go.
He'll probably watch that and wonder why. I always like it when he comes back, though, because it's nice to know. He's our friend Stephen Healy's off having. We're probably a little jealous, aren't we?
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
There's no probably about it. I'm totally jealous.
For those of you who don't know, our friend Stephen Healy is off somewhere with Facebook, actually. Picked him and some local businesses from where he's at to go to a Facebook, I guess, convention, you would call it. All expenses paid by Facebook. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we'll look forward to when he gets back, and I'm sure he'll have lots to share with us. I wonder if he'll be sworn to any confidentiality or secrets or anything. I wonder if he would have to. You never know, right?
Yeah, you never know. There might be some sort of NDA, but he's always teasing us anyway. So
yeah, he is.
He'll just tease us double. It'll be fine. We're used to it.
I think he's like a secret agent. I'm pretty sure. Oh, pardon me. Secret agent for what? I don't know. But
I don't know.
Kelly Shoddy's out there. Yeah, he says Dublin, Ireland. Yes, he is. Thanks for being here, Kelly. How's your weekend? We were just talking before we started the camera. You know, we always talk about broadcasting, and we talk about a lot of different stuff, as you know, but we just talk about this broadcasting thing. And what do you charge for your services, and how do you charge for your services, and do you charge for interviews on your show? And you do bots, like when do you do free? How do you do free stuff?
Not anymore. I don't ever do anything completely free except for the nonprofit that I work with, and they've not seen any work from me in a long time, because I've been so busy. I do stuff that's no cost, that's no monetary cost,
right? But
it costs other things. It'll cost people their time.
Right.
I don't do things for exposure anymore either. Yeah. I don't know how many business owners have died from exposure. Exposure is a myth that just doesn't ever work.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I don't do things for exposure, and I don't do things for absolutely free. I do require stuff from people, but yeah, I will do. There's something I'm going to be doing for this thing coming up that I have, where I'm writing a welcome sequence for people, just a welcome sequence.
Yep.
But it's going to cost them. It's going to cost them time. It's going to cost them time spent with me. So yeah, it's. I hate free. Because then I get a whole bunch of people that are like, free, I'll take it. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is, I'll take it. And then it's not really meaningful to them. Yeah. And that's problematic.
Yeah, we got Peter Stewart's in the lobby here. Peter, I'll bring you in a moment. Yeah, I think one of the big struggles I always had with my show, because it's a community show, people sort of expected, oh, well, it's community. He's just being a nice guy. He does the show thing. And they weren't really taking me serious for a few years. Yeah. So, oh, yeah, you come and do that. And David's a nice guy. He'll come and do that. I am a nice guy. What's that got to do with the price of tea in China? Right? This is part of my living, my shows, my live streaming of events, some videography, some emceeing. Like, I have a whole combination of things that creates that full-time income for me. And I don't like feeling taken advantage of. Sometimes that I feel, oh well, he's got nothing, like I have nothing better to do or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think as I was saying to you before we started here, I have about 3 or 4 charities or nonprofits locally that I support. And I'll go, okay, I'll do this for you. I'll be your MC for your event that day, or all this or that. That's fine. But everything else, I have 4 prices. I have a business price, I have a non-for-profit price, I have a charitable price, and I have a free price. And that's reserved for those 3 or 4 that I've already decided upon. Right. The rest, I go, which category do you fit into? Well, I'm a business, and I'd love to be on your show to talk about our grand opening. So it's X number of dollars for me to have you on and talk about you. Like, that's, I don't know. I guess it's okay to say no as well to people. You have to. It's a hard lesson. Like, I do DJing as well, right? And karaoke and stuff. And I've had people say, what's your price? And I go, it's this. And they go, oh, well, could you do it for this? I say no. This is my price because, well, an example was I gave a quote for something that was about $1,800 for the whole day. That was the whole entire day. We were talking like 11 in the morning to 1 in the morning. So 12, 13 hours, 14, 15 hours with setup and tear down. And they came back and said, well, could you do this? And I said, well, no. And then some people might go, well, yeah, but that's $300 less, but that's still $1,500 in one day. It's not the point. This is my fee, and this is what I feel I'm worth. Do you say no to that? Yeah. Some people might go, well, see, I say no because then I feel like I don't know. I'm undervaluing myself if I agree to that. Exactly. Oh, but you get the job. Yeah, but I don't have control then. I'm giving the control to them. And it's now if somebody said $150, I said $150 for the job, and they come back and say, what about 125? The number doesn't seem as big, but it's still the same percentage. Right. So you go, no. Anyway, I don't know. Let's see what our friend Peter Stewart thinks about charging for services. Peter, how are you?
I'm getting there. I had a bit of an accident on my bicycle.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I haven't seen you in a while, so I didn't know if.
One, I was recovering from my health.
Okay.
Fit again, but last week I fell off my bicycle in the ice and got my shoulder in. And but I've probably come in at an appropriate time. In my traditional pest control business, people have phoned me up, and I've got a price. And I done someone said can do it cheaper than you. I said, well, can they get there today? No. I said, well, we can. So I think what you maybe want to look at is I used to sell double glazing here in Britain, and people are expecting you to come down in price. So you could play that game with them and say, right, here's my price. Have a higher price. And if you get a high price, great, but have a bargaining chip. Say, what bit don't you want done? So I'll look at the price, but what bit was it you was wanting taken out? Something like that, just to never give it away for nothing. Right. And sometimes it's to say, listen, I'd love to do your job, but no, I can't do it at that. Thank you very much. I hope you get someone that can do it for you. Yeah, it's a strong statement. Strong.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, and well, I was having this discussion yesterday with some friends. They're DJs as well, and that's sort of how the conversation come up. But it holds true with what we do in the live streaming world here. And for me, when I outside of doing talk shows, when I live stream events with my other system, I think sometimes people don't necessarily they get it. They're getting what live streaming is. They're starting to. Right. But I'm not sure they see the whole entire value just yet. No. And then with the system I walk in, it doesn't look like I bring a lot of equipment. So sometimes I'd be better off with a camera this big sitting on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Because that looks more impressive than this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know your full setup, but in my business, the pest control business, I say to my guys, always look professional, always look the part, and use your equipment.
Yeah.
And people, and how many people say this to you? An iPhone, I could have done that myself. So, but
Yeah.
you didn't. You know,
So why did you call me?
people phone me. I'll give an example of that in my pest control business. They'll say, "Hello, do those electronic things that work, you plug in, do they work?" I said, "I don't know. I've never tried them. But I've been to people's houses that have got 10 of them in them. And it happened one day, somebody phoned me up and said, could you give me a bit of advice? I goes, what's that? He said, do that things work? I said, well, I'll give you better than that. I'm standing in a gentleman's house that has got them throughout his home. And he's still getting me in to get his pest control done. There's
Right.
your answer. But
Yeah.
they might work for some people. And do you know what it gets back to, David? It gets back to old-fashioned selling. Just
Yeah.
selling. And in Britain, people know we start high and then we come down, you know? And just tell them right at the beginning, look, here's my price. I'm not wavering on it. Even if you want, put your prices on your website and say, here's my price. Don't bother phoning. Well, not in that such a harsh way, but there's my price. If you need to talk to me, get in touch.
Yeah. I find for me, because there's so many, even with live video, like they want to hire me to, well, we'd like you to do live remote for us for our event. Okay. What's the price on that? Well, what do you want? How long do you want me there for? Do you want a pre-interview, like weeks advance on the show? Do you want me to do some social media stuff? Like, there's so many moving parts to the things that I do that I usually just say, look, let's sit down for a coffee or lunch or whatever that looks like, and let's go over what you're looking for. And if they don't know what they're looking for, I say, I could do this, or I could do this, or we could work on this. And what are you? I try to have a kind of feel them out. I used to say to people when they would reach out to me, especially nonprofits and charities, I used to say, what's your budget?
Mm-hmm.
I don't say that anymore.
Because?
I find it's a negative, because what's your budget means how much money have you got? Well, I budgeted $500. Yeah, I could do it for that. But is what I'm doing worth $500, or would I normally charge $200? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. To say, what's your budget? Somebody says that to me. I say, well, just tell me your price. Mm-hmm. Don't ask what my budget is. That's my business. I know what my budget is. I might say something like, yeah, I'm available to do that. Is this something that you have put in your budget?
Yeah.
You see the difference?
Yeah.
RJ, what do you think about that?
That's something I hardly ever run into in my business. The whole budget question. So what I do is so new that people don't really, they don't really, the word budget doesn't really come into it a whole bunch. What I usually do is, with my stuff, people want all kinds of things. And so what I do is get everybody to a phone call. During the phone call, then I ask questions. That's what, and sometimes people will write in to me and be like, hey, how much for a blah? And I'll say, boy, I got a ton of questions for you. Why don't you get on my schedule? Here's my link. And then when I get on the phone, that's when I start to suss out what kind of thing do these people need. Sometimes people mention budget stuff. They'll mention, how much they have to spend or whatever. And I also, I ask a lot of questions that help me determine how much do they want to do themselves, how much do they want me to do. And then I'll pitch them the right thing for them. And if they don't want it at that point, they don't want it. It's cool.
Yeah. One of the things we used to do is, when I sold CCTV at one time, we'd go around and people say, oh, could you give me an idea how much it costs right away? Sort of done price condition them and say, well, some people have paid up to £8,000, say, right? No. And you see the face. And then when you come to the end and you give them a price, and they'll say, right, that's going to be £6,000. And you can see, wow, it's not £8,000. So maybe you should look at your highest price that you would charge for a day, right? And just say, this is my price for a day. And get your highest price out there. Know that you can negotiate down, but negotiate rather than just give it away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Price conditioning. I love that, Peter. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's an old double glazing thing that, people expect. So they're expecting you to haggle. Why go in at your rock bottom price, And just say, some of my clients have paid. Some of my clients have paid X. And they go, ooh, that's well out of my budget. What was your budget? And they say, right. And then if you can, even make it lower than the budget. Because if they've got a high budget, make it a little lower. And they go, oh, well, what's even better? Say, well, can we do a deal at that then? Put your hand out. I'm getting my old double glazing salesman back. But no matter what you do, no, it's interesting. I come on and I've been thinking, the Talkinator, I'll have to start, because people say, when you're doing the Talkinator again. But what you need is to build up a big listening following, right? And get interesting people on, but say to them, once you've done a few, or maybe going to say, right, getting a bit of a crowd now watching it after as well. So it's going to cost X amount to come on and get interviewed. Is that what you do, David?
To have somebody on my show?
Yes.
On my community show, it depends who's on. Like I say, if it's a nonprofit or a charity, I typically, my show is like a chicken wing. Right. It's a loss leader that leads to the beer.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So you come on the show. Now, businesses, if they want to come on my show and they want to talk about their grand opening or their this or that or whatever, it's X number of dollars. You get a 15-minute slot. And usually something like that, though, if they're a business, and even nonprofits, if they want me like live on location, I try to do more than just the interview on the show.
Yeah.
It's like hiring me to do a live on location. What's included in that is a 15-minute slot on the show in advance to promote the event. And then I'm there the day of and we go live, 2 or 3 times an hour for 10, 15 minutes at a time kind of thing. Or sometimes it's just a constant live and we just keep bringing people in to interview or whatever. I go mobile, whatever. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I say 4 prices, but I basically have 3 prices. You're a business, you're a nonprofit, or a charity. Mm-hmm. This is my price. I will say to the nonprofits, I say, I would normally charge this for this, but my nonprofit price for this is this, just so that they understand that they're getting a break because of their status. What I run into sometimes, and I don't like it, it irritates me, is sometimes nonprofits like to come across as a charity.
Right. Okay.
And I don't know what it's like where you're at, but here in Canada, there's a big difference between a nonprofit and a charity. And
it's your phone, is it? So what would you say the difference between a nonprofit and a charity is then?
Well, the difference in a nonprofit and a charity is people at nonprofits get paid.
Right.
An executive director gets paid. Staff get paid. Yeah. They have to spend all their money every year. So they do have to raise their money, but they got to spend it every year.
Right.
And then they start over again. And then they have money. A charity is completely volunteer and nobody gets paid. And they have to raise their money. That's the difference.
It's not like that in Britain. Some of the biggest charities in Britain, they get paid mega amounts of money on the backs of some volunteers.
Are they a charity or are they a nonprofit?
Charities.
Yeah, okay. Well,
and
it's different.
If you look at their wages, they're 3-figure salaries and everything, And
the Canadian Cancer Society is a non-for-profit.
Yeah, right.
People are getting paid.
Yes, that's right. Because I've had the same as you. People say phoned me up and said, "Oh, could you do singing for us?" I said, "Aye, it's for a charity." I said, "Aye, yeah, no problem. How's my? It's for a charity." I said, "I know, but if I sung every week free for a charity, I'd be needing your charity." You know, and it is a bee in folks' bonnets here in the UK about working for free now, and it is getting harder. Hey, I've got good news for you, Rj. People are starting to take bots on board in Britain.
Interesting.
I've seen a couple, and do you know, Britain is still so far behind. I've often said to people, this is what I say to people. Did you see that TV advert? Yeah. If I was to give you 10 slots on national television free of charge, would you take it? Oh, yeah. I said, well, why not you taking it now on Facebook Live or something? And they're absolutely terrified to go on. I get stopped in the street asking when I'm coming back on again. And that is the truth. You know, when you're doing your videos again, they were so, even in the operating table in the theatre. Did I tell you about that? Yeah, people asking me so I really got. Now I'm feeling fresh. I'm really going to get going.
Well,
again.
I'm thinking you should be doing like a surgery show or something, Peter.
Well, what we've got, I know. Well, it's funny. Like you, I've got too many things. My karaoke has really started off again. I'm singing again, and but I want to get my blog about my triple heart bypass because I'm doing a lot of cycling, and I want to get fit. I want to do abseil and flying helicopters and everything. I'm just trying to get all for free.
Right.
So I've got so much going on that I don't know where to go at the moment. I'm a bit, but yeah.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours, right? Like I haven't really promoted my karaoke DJ business in a long time. And in the last 2 weeks, it's been popping up like, hey, we're doing this special thing. And hey, can you DJ this? And it's like, it's like, I don't even think about that part of it anymore. I just don't really. And I go, well, yeah, I'm available. And again, then they go, what's your price? And without hesitation, I go, it's this. Mm-hmm. And they usually go, oh, okay.
Not right.
And if I think it's my own self sometimes that I go, well, charging money for something you love to do, it's really hard sometimes, right? You know, like, and you feel guilty or whatever. Nope, I don't anymore. I just go, this is my price.
No, I
need a second card. This is my price.
Hey, by the way, are you using live on stream karaoke yet?
Live on stream karaoke.
Right. So you go on, you pay £6 a month, right? I'm the way to register, just like Amazon Prime, and you go into your venue. Somebody comes up to your karaoke and says, "Have you got this one?" And you go, "No." What kind of karaoke is that? But now you can get every song, right?
All right.
And you go on live. And
I do. I have a server that I use that I can, if I don't have it, I can get it. Yeah.
No, but what I mean is you don't have to take all your kit with you. It's already there, and it's live karaoke on the internet, live.
Right.
You just plug into it.
Yeah, you still got to have your sound system and everything.
Yeah, your sound system. But
that's what I mean. Like, well, I do that. I have a karaoke every Sunday that I do, and I take my laptop and plug into my sound system. Yeah. And if I need something, I have a server that I access that I can download it right away and put it into my system, and then I have it.
Well, this doesn't download it. This plays the song you want there and then.
Yeah, I've seen Karaoke Cloud or something it's called over here. We have, but I haven't used that one. I have a different system. RJ, what's going on in the bot world? I'm thankful for you because I've kicked myself back into that world a little bit and seeing some results. Right, I almost didn't do it today. I was like, oh well, I better do it. RJ's coming on, and boy, she'll get mad at me if I don't do my growth tool and my broadcasting tool.
Well, I tell you, the big thing going on in World of Bots right now is everybody and their mother is offering a challenge through bots.
Oh,
I'm writing right now a challenge for getting joint venture partners. I'm also working with some guys on the keto diet. Writing a 30-day challenge for them, working with coaches of all kinds, fitness, writing a couple of fitness ones. So challenges are out there, baby. It's January. It's challenge season.
Yeah. Well, I get one from a guy called Cos Crosley in Britain every day now. And you know what I like about it? They're short and sharp. They don't take forever.
There you go.
And sharp. Gets the message over in his voice or gets the message over written or a link to something. But it's short and sharp. I don't want to go on someone blabbing on for ages. And so I do like it, you know.
That's awesome. In fact, that's something that I was talking about on my podcast is that, but because here's the problem. A lot of people have done these challenges that have been successful for them in the past, and they want to take that thing that they wrote in email or on their blog or in their Facebook group, and they want to port it over to the Messenger platform. Mm-hmm. The problem is those interactions are short and sweet, baby. You got to get going. You can't expound forever on the principles of this thing. You got to get in, have them do something, get out. Because if you do that, you'll get people that will progress all the way through. Mm-hmm. If you make it super long and walls of text and everything else, people are they're not going to get through all the days of the challenge at all.
You see, no, to me, I always thought bots was just somebody that replied to you when you asked something. But this guy is setting it up that he'll pick his quote for today and his little bit of information for today, and it's coming out in the bot. So it's just not for answering questions.
No, it's for all kinds of things. Yeah, absolutely. And some people are on the wrong track with it, but I think it's for starting conversations and delivering valuable information to people.
Right. So he must set that up a few days in advance and say that goes out on the 25th, that's the 26th, that's the 27th.
Yep.
You know?
He must. Well, because it would be difficult to get that done by a certain time every day. He probably does it in advance, yeah.
I think it actually tells you who's made it for him as well, you know? And so it's a good way of getting across to people and reminders, you know. You see, I was trying to learn German with Duolingo. I don't know if you've heard of that. They do it in an email. They get in touch with you and say, haven't heard from you in a while. Why don't you come back? And they know when you touch it, you're back on. And they can just as easily do that in a bot. But the email comes in, but if you've done that in your phone, wie geht's, Peter? We haven't heard from you for a while. Remember to come back. And that would be great for a bot as well. You just need that constant reminder, you know?
You do. That would be hilarious in a bot, V Gates. That's beautiful. I spent a little bit of time in Germany, so I know what you just said.
Ich habe gewohnt in Berlin. Ich bin ein Panzersoldat.
You lost me at I'm taking German. German. Jawohl. I don't know.
Where about in Germany?
Where about in Germany? So I was in gosh, what is it? It's a town near where the wall was. Mm-hmm. It's up in the north. Braunschweig,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I used to be in Berlin as a soldier in a tank when the wall was up.
Yeah.
That's where I learned about communications. Vital. I tell that story. I'll tell it someday. Yeah.
You can tell it now. We're all open for stories.
It's broadcasting to your community. We're broadcasting.
I'm going to blow your ears out in a minute. Ready? Aha! 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 Now, that was a noise I heard about 1 o'clock in the morning. It was horrible. We had to jump out of bed, beat into a tank, and be out the gates. The first 3 tanks we were alert route within 15 minutes. And we came out the barracks, we turned right onto the Heerstrasse, and we turned right, went a few meters up the road, and we sat there looking at the east side of the wall. An hour later, the rest of them came out. And we seen them going in the opposite direction, the rest of the tanks. And there's 3 tanks, and we're sitting there. And we're looking over each other, and hello, 2, this is 1, radio check. None of us was able to speak to each other. And we're looking at each other over the tanks going, what's going on? Can't hear you. And it was, hello, 2-1 Alpha, this is 2-1 Bravo, radio check. Nothing. And the others had gone the opposite way. And then a Land Rover come up, you call it a Jeep. And a very irate man come out, and he was a sergeant major, and he jumped up on every tank. And he whacked every radio operator. I was one of them. And what had happened was, we were new from Britain. And not one of us had tuned in our radios properly. So we couldn't speak to ourselves, and we couldn't speak to the rest of the tanks. And that's why we were in the completely opposite direction. And that was a learning curve for me. One, you've always got to know your trade by remembering how to tune your radios in. It was their fault too, because they never give us retraining periodically at a time. And the second one I learned from it, always be in communications with your own people and the others you are serving. And that's why I've got a 24-hour number for my business and email. And that's my story.
Communication.
Berlin Wall.
Did you have to learn Morse code?
No, not. Morse code was well out by then. No, it was old radios called C42s and B47s, and you'd actually dial them in a big needle. Yeah, all right, you got that, have you? Yeah.
I'm a ham radio operator.
All right, okay. CQ, CQDX.
Yeah.
There you
And
go.
I VA3 DBU, Delta Bravo uniform.
Well, there you go. And that's why communications for me in my business are absolutely vital. And communications with your customers, which I've fell down on quite a lot recently, that I need to go and meet my customers again because my men are doing the job. And I said, did they still ask for me? And he goes, yeah. But guess what? I'm going to go and see them myself and say I popped in to see you. And just that little bit of communication with the customers again, you know?
That's huge, Peter, especially, nowadays when we are all so used to, being talked at, giving people a chance to be seen and be talked to, that makes you stand out every time. Yeah.
So that's that's my story of communications, you know. But of what it does, John Upton and Stephen we were talking. We still think there's time for a little course to be made to take people to a little seminar, and tell them how to use this sort of stuff that we are using now. You know, how to speak, how to get your message across, etc. Just to let you know, RJ, I'm also a public speaking trainer in theory, but because of my illness, I haven't been able to do it and I need to go out there and do it. And so you in Britain, you do not realise how far we are ahead of most people. Absolutely. And I do once a month, I go to a digital marketing conference. And I had to shut up because I knew so much. And people come up and said, how do you know so much? I says, it's been self-taught. Self-taught. And these were PR and marketing professionals that were there. Can you believe that? And that was the pest control man, you know?
Speaking of teaching and teaching people how to communicate and putting that together with bots, RJ and Stephen have put together
bots for broadcasters.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm hearing you.
Yeah, you are?
Sorry. Well, I went to the Udemy page and it started playing a video automatically, and I'm like, "Whoa, what's happening?" There's her vote. Wait, her lips aren't moving. Oh. Well, there's a great introduction to what I was alluding to. Is you and Stephen put together a nice Udemy course, which I purchased shortly after the conversation there, and I haven't gone through the whole thing as of yet, of course, but I skimmed through it. I think most people, they go, "Oh, let's go look at all the topics and headers and everything," and obviously there's some stuff that I already know about, but I still go through all those sections anyway, because you never know what you might miss if you don't go into those little sections. So I'm very good at it. So I'm looking forward to getting through the rest of that. And but for somebody who doesn't know anything about bots, or is looking or considering or that bot thing, do it. And
it's a good deal. I got a coupon.
Talk about that.
Well, it's the cost generally is $100, but I've got a coupon for people. You can take the thing for $10. It's 2.5 hours worth of video. Stephen and I talking, sharing templates for bots, and it presumes no knowledge at all. You can show up in there, just fell off the turnip truck yesterday, and we will teach you how to use bots for your broadcast. We want everybody to, the main purpose is build your audience, like Peter was saying a little bit before. Build your audience, baby. Get more people, because you stand out head and shoulders above and beyond what other people are doing when you can communicate with your audience one-on-one and engage them.
Well, I had people that I know here, and they says, "Peter, we've got bots. We're doing bots." But I just thought it was too expensive for the amount of money I would get back in. And even give them at half price, and I went, "Nah, it's too much." They went, so it was a fee every month for it. Yeah. Charging everybody. But I just thought, from the work that I do get from Facebook, okay, one job a month would cover it, but if it was a real price, it's 2 jobs out of that a month to cover it, But I just don't feel I get enough from it, Facebook. I did it this summer, but the rest of the year, my pay-per-click works, my SEO works, my Facebook adverts work very well. And also Google for Business has been extraordinary. And so has Google AdWords Express. The problem I've got is who to give my money to now.
Yeah.
All them. Yeah. You. But no.
What's the RJ? What's the name of the bot again? I just want to.
The name of the bot, or the name of
the class? Yeah, sorry.
Class is Bots for Broadcasters. That's worth talking about, Peter, is that there are so many things that can work hand in hand with each other. And it's awesome that that ad spend is working for you. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. I grudge it when the bill comes in. I go, what? Then I look, because I actually banked the most money I've ever done last summer.
Nice.
And I went, wow. And then I look at it and I go, I just wish they would take it monthly. Google AdWords take it 3 monthly now, and it's a lot of money. I go, what? And then I said, oh, look at all the work. Do you use Clicky? Clicky.com? I use Clicky.com, and I know where everything's coming from. I know if an advert is getting pay-per-click. I know how many calls I get from that. I've got different numbers that I put on each thing, so I know the phone numbers have came from that advert and from that advert. And I can see who've been into my website, who's stayed, how long. So Clicky.com, I think it's better, as far as I'm concerned, than Google Analytics. And
nice.
And you get one free website, and I can look in there, and I really do like it. It's simple to use, and you don't even have to put codes in your pages, because you just put your website on. So it's Clicky.com.
I'm going to look that up right now, Peter.
I thought you would. And I'm obsessed with it. And I just say, oh, look at that. And you can even say, put your advert out that day, and you can see if you get a call from that day. I'll tell you what else Google for Business does. If someone rings through it, it sends you a message. How did you get on with that telephone number that rang? And they give you the telephone number. Are you aware of that? Yeah. So there you go.
Interesting.
I love my marketing. The problem I've has got time. Time's the problem. Study time and procrastination and concentration levels. That's what I suffer from. So what I tend to do now is usually get somebody else to do it for me.
Right.
That initial, you know. I learned that lesson the hard way. So, right, get it set out for me. How's your money? David, I'll give you your show back.
No, it's okay. I'm listening, and I'm going over to clicky.com.
Oh, I thought you might be. No, I just think it's fantastic. You can pay a yearly fee, and that's what I'll have a look at it now.
Clicky.com. Interesting. Well, there's just nothing you can't do on the internet.
Yeah.
Where were we before? I wanted to go back to the bots for broadcasters just for a moment, though, because I just want to bring it up here so everybody can see how pretty it is. Bots for broadcasters, and it was recently labeled as a hot new.
Right. Hot and new, baby.
Hot. RJ and Steven are hot and new. Awesome. And right now, so that's like well, this is Canadian prices. Right now, 87% off. It was like $104.99. I got it for $13.99. And I think I've already spent that today doing something.
Right.
I think I woke up. It probably cost me $15 to wake up. I don't know. By the time I had my coffee and something to eat. So what a real big value there. So thanks to you both for putting that on and offering that very, very generous discount. Clara Alden, who's part of the live streaming world, she purchased the course and she says, with clear instructions, Steven and RJ make it dead easy to create your own Facebook Messenger bot with the ManyChat platform. They provide insight on using your new bot with your Facebook Live shows and provide you with templates that you can immediately use. Great course. So, and Clara is well known in the live streaming world, so that was great that she was saying that for you. So, congratulations on the new course. Will you take this to an advanced level at some point?
Well, we've been talking about it because we're having a little bit of embarrassment of riches with ways to go. So there's advanced chatbots for broadcasters. There's also, what if we did a class on Twitch bots for broadcasters? Right. Because there's so many of them over on Twitch, and they can do so many wonderful things that are completely different. I've
probably got 2 or 3 running in my channel on Twitch
all the time. Then there are also bots that are beyond ManyChat that you can use as well. So I think that it's absolutely certain that we'll do another class. We're just trying to gauge where's the most interest right now. Yeah, right. Well,
let's talk about Twitch as well. While have you done much in Twitch, RJ?
I haven't. At the moment, it's a time issue. It's a time issue. Right. Yep. Because so much work is going on right now, and it's really beautiful. And I'm, serving the client is upmost. But I so want to get on. I still want to get on and do, build things and talk to people. And it's a wonderful idea. It would be great for me, but have not been able to, where am I going to put that? What am I going to sacrifice out of my schedule to put that in? Yeah. Is really the question.
Well, I went with that struggle too. But I needed to make it work for a couple of reasons. Number one, I just wanted to stream more. And I wasn't sure that I wanted to keep doing it in the Facebook world, because for me, the Facebook world has been mostly local, right? As far as my show goes, with the exception of this show. And going into the Twitch world, I'm a little bit of a different brand. I'm the same but different. I'm not wearing my tie, and I'm not, I'm a little more relaxed, kind of, I guess you could call it, whatever. Professional, but not as. And there's different people coming into that. There's a different demographic coming into what I'm doing. As you can see, so Monday nights, like tonight at 8:00 Eastern, pardon me, I feel like I smoked a pack of cigarettes last night. I haven't smoked in 3.5 years. My son Jason and I, we do father versus son. So we play video games and we try to beat each other at them. And it's kind of, I describe it as, like when you were a kid, you always tried to beat your dad at some game, checkers maybe, whatever. So it's that, but it's the dad trying to beat the boy. We did find a game actually called Brawlhalla that we're both pretty equal at, and we have a lot of fun with it. So
Nice.
so that's but that's an entertainment thing, right? That's
Right.
father versus son, and it's exciting, and we yell and laugh and do all these crazy antics while we play the video game. So it's a different entertainment value than, say, the community show. And we have followers that come in from Germany, like all throughout Europe, like all throughout the world. So it's really cool that way. And the engagement I find is stronger. And then Tuesday and Wednesday nights, I was getting into doing video games. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to stream this. And Tuesday night I was doing this thing called Marbles on Stream, and we were playing trivia and and I was just like, it's not me. I'm a talk show guy. That's typically what I do. So I'm going to do that in the Twitch world, with the exception of the Monday nights with my son. And the cool thing is I get to hang out with my son in his world, basically, and create some memories with my boy, right? So that's cool. But the Twitch talk is pretty much what it says. Anything to do with Twitch. It could be bots and Twitch. It could be anything to do with Twitch. So, and I seem to be having some people who are just regulars on Twitch that are popping back in or popping in every week. I don't really set any guests up. It's typically me going on and starts talking about whatever I'm going to talk about, and people join, and they've been joining. So it's great. So also because I'm teaching at the college and I'm teaching live streaming, and Twitch is a big part of that, I thought my focus needs to be anything new that I'm adding, unless it's community related, will be on Twitch.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
Nice.
My Facebook is community based for me. Most of the people on my Facebook are local. So,
well, and to me, I'd almost rather stream on Twitch because I mean, the Facebook live that I've been doing, I'd like to keep doing it. It keeps me visible. It's good. But it's a whole new show when you switch platforms. It's a whole new world to conquer, and that's me. That's me. So, I'm just wondering, what do I replace and how do I fit it in? Because it looks like a wonderful place. People go there to watch videos. People do not come to Facebook to watch videos. That's
right. They don't. That's a good point. Actually, I talked about that in my class the other day. We're talking about, and it's kind of funny because some of the kids look at me, the kids, I say kids, they're 20, right? Or 19, whatever. But I say the kids, they kind of look at me funny because when one of the first classes was, okay, we're going to talk about different platforms, Facebook, Twitter. Like, they already know of these platforms. They think they know the differences, but I've got them going, that's interesting. Like, for example, I say, if you were going to do a community show, where would you do it? YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook? Facebook, right? Twitch is zero. So we talk about that, different platforms, and they're realizing more of the differences as well too. I think, and that's part of the marketing plan they're going to be putting together is who's your audience?
Question.
And yeah.
Have you used LinkedIn for it yet? I'm getting an echo, by the way. I think it's when you speak, RJ. It's going through you. So what about LinkedIn? Have you done live stuff on LinkedIn yet?
I didn't know that LinkedIn was doing live. I know you can do video.
Video, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I have not directly. I have my LinkedIn hooked up to my Facebook, so it shares my show over to there like a link, but I don't no, I haven't. I go on, I don't use LinkedIn. Maybe I should. I don't know, but I go on LinkedIn once a day and I see
I'm going to wait
what's going on, but I don't really post anything.
I'm going to start using it for pest control. I've there is public speaking and things. I'm taking that down, and it's going to be secondary. And I'm looking for more business from it. So Facebook funnies, that's us in the van doing stupid things, etc. That's domestics, that's people's homes, etc. The odd maybe one business. But LinkedIn, I'm going to go and be more professional and educate about pest control, etc., etc. And that's my plan for this year with LinkedIn, to build up more people that hopefully will buy my services, even speak about pest control. Because that's the best thing I ever done. My biggest contract came because I went and give a talk.
Right.
Best thing ever done.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, indirect selling, right? I guess is what you would call that, Again, well, that's kind of like my show. Like it's I'm not charging everybody that comes on my local community show, but it's a chicken wing that leads to other things. Oh, if you want, I get calls like, oh, we want to do a thing and we need a live. Oh, well, Dave's the guy. Right.
Yeah, does it give you any MC stuff?
Oh yeah, I get lots of spin-off from my show.
Okay.
Yeah. DJs from DJing, mostly MCing things and live remotes. Yeah, live remotes, and they're not, and the ones that everything I do is not always public either. There's Facebook.
Sorry, I just got a text there. You know what's happening in Britain just now? I've got a friend, and this was the day or yesterday they had to, if they're Europeans living in Britain, they had to register, and it was going to cost them £65. The government's just scrapped it after the outcry. But my friend's 83-year-old. And he's lived here all his life, really. But they wanted him to register, and he refused to pay. He says, "I'd rather go to jail." But anyway, that's beside. Sorry about that. Just let it do. No, it's having. See, the problem. When I go into the city, like I'm like you, I do a few things, right? People say, "That's Peter. He does a few things." So one minute I'm called the mousy man walking down the street. The next I'm called the talkinator. I also stand in for Louis Walsh, which is one of the X Factor judges, because I look like him. And that's the problem. I've got a problem with it because I don't know which way to turn. But every bit makes me my money. Sometimes it doesn't make my money.
Yeah. So Twitch for me, just to go. So RJ, you were talking about finding something to replace there. Is there something? Because I really see you in the Twitch world with what you're doing. I see the opportunity there for you.
Yeah.
And like Steven, for example, him and I disagree on a couple little things about Twitch. For example, I believe when you go live on Twitch, I mean, you can go live for 5 minutes. There's no minimum. But to be really effective on Twitch, you got to go live 3 to 5 hours at a time. It's like
that's what Steven says.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is that what Steven says, or is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what I say.
Okay.
That's what I say. Steven will say, you can do a half hour an hour. Now, I don't know. It depends. We can debate that another time with him. But I know, like, when I go live, on Twitch, I'm no less than 2 hours.
Less than 2 hours. You're 2 hours on Twitch.
Yeah, and usually longer.
And that is doing
anything that I stream. Well, Jason and I, when we do tonight, we go 8 till 10 o'clock, and 10 o'clock he steps out, and sometimes I carry on my own. So I might be
playing games. Is that playing games on Twitch?
Whatever I'm doing. When I do my talk show, Twitch Talk, I'm 2 hours minimum. And if depends on if more people keep coming in, we just keep going. We just keep talking. Most people, when they go live on Twitch, are going live for, some people go live and they go live for like 8 hours a day.
So what are they wanting to hear?
Well, it's that's the thing about Twitch is there's so many different categories. It's not just gaming. There's a talk show category. There's a just chatting category. There's a creative painting category. There's a music category.
Yeah.
Whatever you can think of, the category's there. And it's that's why there's opportunity on Twitch right now, is because people, there's like yourself, a lot of people are still thinking, oh, it's just video games, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
Go find a category.
Do you know what gets me in Britain? I've seen me going on, and it's like, you know, and it's actually soul destroying. I'm seeing an eye up at the top, and it says there's 2 people watching. How do you feel about that?
Doesn't bother me at all. I didn't even notice it until you brought it up.
Yeah, because that's what I was, because I was injured. I sat in the house the other day, and I just got on live, and I just said, I'm on here. If you know me, come in and have a chat. And I even pleaded with him, type something, type a question. And all they would do is sit and look at me.
See, when I go live, I do a talk show, I'll Twitch talk, like, for example. That's usually I start by myself. I talk like I'm talking to thousands of people.
Yeah.
And as you've probably heard most of us say, the majority of the views come after it's live anyway. And it depends on the content. And it depends on the time of day. And it depends. Robert Stern is out there listening right now.
Yeah.
And he will tell you, when I first was making the decision to take my weekly show from recorded, because it was all pre-recorded, I would set the camera up, do my commentary, and edit it all together. Excuse me, and it would take me, 3 to 5 hours to edit a show and everything, and nobody could talk to me that day, and and then I was like, I'm gonna go live with that show, or do I just start a new show? And I was like, well, do I do it at 8 o'clock at night? A lot of people said, yeah, do it at that time, because then I can watch live. Robert Stern said to me, he goes, pick your time that works for you. And people if they want to watch, it's okay if they don't watch live. It sure would be nice to have 500 people watching concurrently live.
Yeah.
But I'd just as soon have 500 views, however they come.
But if you get people watching you after, how many people would sit and watch 2 hours of you? No disrespect, they wouldn't have watched 2 hours of me.
But the difference is, on Twitch, people go there to watch live.
All right, no, but not on Twitch. If you've done a Facebook Live, do you still do Facebook Live, yeah? And you come on, who's going to sit and watch that after for half an hour?
Well, I don't know that people come on and watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think they'll come on and they'll watch a little bit of it, right? On the community show, lots of people will, if their friend is on my show that week, they go to that section of it and they watch it, and that's all they watch. So they're not necessarily watching the whole entire show.
Do you know how many people, the most watched show I had live, do you know what it was?
No.
Take a guess. RJ, can you know? Take a guess.
I was just, Robert, I am not seeing where Instagram's adding bots. Could you throw a link in the comments so that I can see that? Okay. That would be super great. A lot of people ask me about that. So I would love to know what's going on there. And so I completely missed your question, Peter. Would you ask it again?
The question was, who do you think got the type of person on their business got most people watching my live show? What do you think type of business it might have been?
No idea.
Right, I'll put you out your misery. It was a dog groomer. And what happened, she come on, and she knows a lot of people here in Aberdeen, and we went out early, and she encouraged people to come to the show, and that was the most I had watching live. All our friends and people that watched me, and we spoke about dog grooming. So it was quite interesting.
I've had two two lives that were pretty significant, and I'm talking into. I think the most I ever had concurrently was like 700.
Right.
And that was we had our political election, or like our at a municipal level, like electing our mayor, etc. And I did a live broadcast from City Hall, and that was done through Facebook Live using another system. And the other time was I think I probably had about 3 or 4 concurrent at one point in the broadcast, and that was for the Dream Home Lottery that we have here in Sarnia. Okay. It's $100 ticket, and you can win a house. And they hired me. I'm doing it again this year to broadcast the draw live.
Okay.
So people are watching from all over the world because they're traveling at the time of the draw or whatever, and it's that. So I mean, content. It's funny, right? Because content is key. It's a big part of it, right? If I had, I had little Liam Henderson, who's 11 years old, lives in our city, and he was on Canada's Smartest Person Junior. When I had him on the show, views were up, right? Mm-hmm. So it's there's a lot of variables. That's a whole other show.
So you've done well with that, because over here I'm linked into a lot of newspapers and things, and anytime there's a live broadcast from the Prime Minister, every newspaper's doing it live now, you know? And you just pick which one to go on. That's
right. Well, we are 102 in my country, in my province. How did that happen? And we talked about a lot of different things. Peter, thanks for joining. It's nice to see you. I haven't seen you. I was thinking about you the other day. I thought, I wonder if he's okay or whatever. So it's just for that alone, I'm glad you checked in. And RJ, I appreciate you filling in for our friend Steven. Not that you need a reason. I mean, he can be here and you can still come on too. Okay. I kind of like you.
So what time is it where you are? 1 o'clock in the morning?
No, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
RJ, where are you?
I'm an hour behind, so I'm at straight up noon right now.
So it's lunchtime for RJ.
Where are you based, RJ?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I'm cold Aberdeen, Scotland. Ugh. Cold place.
You're like 6 o'clock where you're at, right?
Yeah, 1803. Yeah.
Yep, perfect.
Spot on.
Very good. Well, thank you for joining, and it was good conversation. You never know, like I say, you never know who's going to show up here, and you never know what's going to happen. For those of you who are watching, join me later this afternoon, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, and I have a couple of special local guests on my show this afternoon. Peter and RJ, once again, thanks so much for joining. No I'm problem. Sure we'll be running into each other again.
Let me know how you get on with Clicky.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.